All right, hello everybody. My name's Candido,
And I'm Samantha,
and
and
this
this is
is Geeking
Geeking Out
Out
with
with
My
my
Spouse.
spouse. Well, you know how they say that opposites attract. I am a huge nerd.
And I am not.
In this podcast, we're going to explore each other's differences, talk about some of our fandoms and things that we like to do in our spare time, hobbies, interests, all kind of good things like that. I think the biggest one that she doesn't understand is my obsession with anime, and I think that's a perfect jumping point for this podcast.
I guess what I don't understand is all the screaming and the very, very dramaticness of it all. It's like they're always excited about something, and it all sounds the same, whether they're fighting or crying or normal. They all just sound super excited.
Yeah, I think that's just a depiction of the culture over there in Japan, where it comes with or it comes from. I know when you hear the American dub versions, they do get pretty animated as well. But I think that's the only way to really convey emotions, right? Because if live action stuff, you can see the actors' faces and all that, but all you have to work with is a voice whenever you're watching an anime. So screaming, excitement, sadness, everything is just over the top. And that's like the only way that you can do it. At least I think that's probably the best way to describe it.
It's also like Puerto Rican culture.
Oh my God, no, we're not that dramatic.
So, when did you first start watching anime?
Surprisingly enough, thinking back, I would say Saturday morning cartoons. I would always watch either Fox Kids, which is I don't think it's a thing anymore, or Kids WB. Cartoon Network had this thing called Toonami,
I
but
remember
you
Toonami.
remember Toonami? Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was like a little block from like right after school until about 7 or 8. There was a slew of shows that were just back to back to back. So I would watch that, and it would be shows like, let me see, Tenchi Muyo was on there, Rurouni Kenshin was on there, Dragon Ball Z was on there, and I didn't know this stuff was anime. Honestly, this was just to me cartoons that I was watching, so I
I
didn't
think
really.
I avoided all that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people did. If you were an anime nerd in school, you got made fun of a lot,
Mm.
but so a lot of people really, they never admitted to it. It's cool to be an anime guy now, but back then it wasn't. So if I were to say when I started watching it officially, knowing what I know now, I think it was probably Pokemon.
Oh, well, I watched Pokemon.
Yeah. See, a lot of people don't know that Pokemon was an anime, but
Yeah.
it definitely was. So Pokemon, Digimon, Yu-Gi-Oh, those were all on Kids WB, I believe, or Fox Kids, and those were anime, even though you didn't know they were. So I think that's when I started. So probably 7 or 8 years old.
So, which shows would you recommend for someone totally new? Someone who is like, oh, that looks kind of cool. I think I can get with the crazy screaming and big boob chicks.
Well, look, before I could even make any kind of suggestion, you got to know there is a genre for anything. Any interest you have, you can find an anime for it. So throw an interest out at me really quick. Let's see if I can find one for you.
Soccer.
Soccer. Oh, okay. So see, unfortunately, some of these I can't translate them to
Ah,
English, but uh, Easy soccer ones. Well, there's plenty of soccer ones. Unfortunately, I'm drawing a blank at the moment. Put me on the spot.
Basketball.
Basketball. That one's good. Slam dunk. Slam dunk was one that I got into late in life. That one is pretty interesting to get into. There's one called Kuroko's No Basket, which is kind of like it's a basketball team, but they kind of give them supernatural abilities, but not really. It's just kind of from the eyes of the beholder, or the eye of the watcher. So yeah, so basketball is neat. There's a lot of sports ones: basketball, soccer, volleyball, haiku, one of my favorites. Um, let's see. There's even racing ones. So Initial D, which is one that I watched. It's a very old one. Initial D is about drifting and racing cars and friends that are in a certain prefecture in Japan and their mods and things like that to the cars. There's F1 style ones. One's called Overtake. That's actually a few seasons ago or a few years ago. That one just came out. So yeah, definitely sports are all over the place.
I will say that the supernatural aspect of anime does interest me. Um, and then the not only the supernatural, but then how um they do the family and culture and stuff. I like Spy Family a lot.
Yeah, so Spy Family, surprisingly enough, watching Spy Family, I didn't really know what I was getting myself into when I was watching Spy Family. I definitely like the story though. You got a secret agent trying to infiltrate. Now I don't want to give too much away, so spoiler alert in case you didn't see it. But secret agent type character trying to get or infiltrate a certain place to take out a specific target. But he needs a family in order to get close enough to the person. So he adopts a child, which has some special abilities. He gets a wife who's also leading a double life.
Aren't we all?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, there's some supernatural stuff that goes on in there, especially with the daughter.
Listening to to minds.
Yeah, she has like ESP, if you didn't know. So yeah, there's a lot of cool supernatural ones too. A lot of witches, there's some vampire ones. I know you like vampires or your vampire shows, Vampire
Oh, of
Diaries, and all
course.
that stuff. Supernatural. You know what's crazy? There's also a lot of shows like that do anime type spin-offs. Like you'll see certain shows that they make an anime for. Like
Godzilla.
the Godzilla anime. There's Terminator. They made a Terminator anime, which some people didn't even know existed.
I did not.
Yeah, and then I swear there was a Supernatural anime, but I'm not 100% sure. I'd have to look into it. But I do definitely believe there was like some kind of supernatural vampire hunting anime.
I believe it.
But back to the question at hand, if I were to give an anime a recommendation for someone starting out, I would have to say one of the best animes from start to finish with good character arcs, a good ending, not too long, a couple seasons. Uh, Probably anybody who would listen to this would suggest Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. Now, there's two versions of it, but you gotta watch the Brotherhood one because the original that came out, they didn't have the complete story when they were animating it, so they kind of had to take some uh, creative leeway within. They made their own kind of variant of it, and then Brotherhood actually came after the manga was finished, so they had all the information so they can make a clear and truthful adaptation to it. I think it's 2 or 3 seasons max. It's really good.
So, I know you talked about there's like a ton of genres, and then um really you started watching it on those Saturday morning cartoons, but like getting further into anime once you okay, well this is anime, I really like it. I like this style. I like, whatever. Is there a genre that in the beginning, I know you like all genres now, but in the beginning, did you gravitate more towards one type, one genre?
Yeah, I think in the beginning I gravitated a lot towards like the fighting shonen style animes. There's usually a main character who has like a huge obstacle to overcome, uh, gang of friends, adventures, fights, superpowers, always a big bad that needs to be taken out. And those are usually the ones that kind of drew me in the most. I think it's just my short attention span then. Like if I didn't have all the fireworks to start off, I think that's why I gravitated towards like Dragon Ball Z so much. And the Gundams too. Oh, one of my favorite Gundam shows. Um, used to come on at Adult Swim, which is different than Toonami actually, because Toonami was
Oh,
that short little period right after school, but Adult Swim you could only catch at like 11:30 at night.
because it was Adult Swim.
There were some shows there that showed a little more than they should have, but my favorite Gundam on there, it would pop up. It was called 8th MS Team, and it was real gritty. Uh, it was kind of like trench warfare, ground fighting. It wasn't a lot of outer space battles. Some axes, some laser swords, some shields, trenches, guns, big robots fighting, a big war background. That was probably my favorite. So genre, shonen genre would be my go-to
Action.
back then.
I like it. I like it. Okay, so I think I know the answer to this question. Actually, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this question, but it may have changed over the years. Because you do have more favorite animes now, than you did when we first met 10 years ago. But who's your favorite character and why?
Oh, that is a tough question.
So then it's changed.
So I think I know the answer you have in your mindset, right? Or in your mind. I believe it's you have Yusuke Urameshi.
No.
No. Oh, I know what it is. It's Vegeta.
Yes.
100%. I definitely get that. You know, Yusuke Urameshi from Yu Yu Hakusho, which is actually like my favorite anime, but my favorite character. It has probably not changed too much if I think about it. It was Vegeta from Dragon Ball Z. Kind of my first favorite character ever. So, I mean, do you ever wonder why? Did I ever tell you why?
I don't. I think you did tell me why once, but refresh my
All
memory.
right.
You know,
So,
it's been a while.
so I have huge debates with my friends, but we'll start at the beginning a little bit.
Because everybody likes Goku, right?
Everybody loves Goku. So Vegeta was actually a villain.
Oh, yes.
So he comes to Earth to take over. Find the Dragon Balls, get super strong. Him and his boy Nappa, they come to Earth to get the Dragon Balls, fight Goku and the Z Warriors, and take over. So, to this day, I'll swear that Vegeta won that fight, okay? So, it was Vegeta versus Goku one on one. And the Goku's the main character. Vegeta, Goku does this thing called Kaioken, which is called translates to like God's fist or whatever. He like able to amplify his power a couple times. Really cool red glow. And then Vegeta didn't have none of that. So Goku has a transformation, the Kaioken. What does Vegeta got besides raw power? Some Saiyan pride. He's the prince of all Saiyans. And then he has the ability to turn into this huge ape called, I want to say the translations, Ozaru, something like that. And he beats the living crap out of Goku in this big monkey form. Now, Goku used to be able to do that as a kid, but they cut his tail off and it never grew back. Vegeta still has his tail. He grew it. I say it's fair game. He stomped Goku. If you ever saw the panels, his legs was all discombobulated and everything like that.
So if you don't have a tail, you can't turn into a monkey?
No.
Well, that's crazy.
No, there's like, if you go to Dragon Ball GT, Vegeta's wife creates a machine, but a lot of people don't talk about Dragon Ball Z. It's not like canon anymore. It was really not well received. But so yeah, he beats Goku up, and then he's about to finish him off, and this fat guy called Yajirobe slices Vegeta's tail off in mid monkey form, And then basically it's like, all right, you got to get out of here. And Vegeta escapes. Um, he gets back in his pod and he goes away. Uh, and then later on, they go to wish people back. They need to go to a planet called Namek, and Vegeta's there. All right, and so he starts kind of changing sides because the guys that are above him is Frieza. He's like this space overlord type dude who does not like Saiyans, which is the race that Vegeta, Goku, and their offspring are.
Hmm.
So they kind of start joining forces. They find a common enemy or whatever. And then that whole arc happens. I won't get into it too much. And then they go to Earth. And then there's a blast from the future, or someone from the future comes back to the past to warn them about something. You see Vegeta there. And then he gets a little look from Boma. And basically they kind of get together. And then so he becomes a good guy from that point forward.
That's the blue hair chick, right?
Yeah, yeah. So he kind of becomes a good guy then. So, it's like a lot of redemption for him, right? Because he was a bad guy. He's always seeming like he's trying to get some redemption. He's always trying to beat Goku because Goku's, even though is like a weaker, or not a weaker, but a lower class Saiyan, he just overpowers him all the time. So Vegeta's always working hard, always trying to get better, always trying to get stronger. It's like he gets close to Goku, and then Goku does something else. So then he has to keep on working hard, and then he gets there again. He gets close, and then there's something else. And I kind of like where they're going with it now in the Dragon Ball Super spin-off, I guess I would say.
I was still going.
Yes. So even though the creator died, there he has I don't know, I'm gonna say a protege, I guess,
Hmm.
that takes the story over for him. But so instead of Vegeta constantly trying to beat Goku or catch up to Goku, he kind of goes on his own path now.
Oh,
So now they're kind of co-main characters. Vegeta goes one way, Goku goes another way, but I think it was him always trying to strive to be better is why I I always gravitated towards Vegeta more than anybody else.
okay, okay. Huh. I like that. Um, I do get that. I definitely get that. I see that in your personality a lot. Um, Now I do know the answer to this question. Um, and I hate the answer to this question. Do you watch subbed, dubbed, or both?
So I do watch both,
Mm-hmm.
but mostly I'll watch subbed.
Yeah.
Um, Nothing against the dub though.
I can't read fast enough.
I know. I don't know why. Sometimes I just feel like the original Japanese voice actors convey better emotion, even though I have to read to know what they're saying. Again, going back to what you said in the beginning about how they scream and everything seems over dramatic and all that good stuff. I think that's probably why, though. I just feel like they just put more into it, and it definitely comes through when reading it or hearing it in subbed.
I can see that. I can definitely see that because I think if I were to watch, whatever shows I watch and it wasn't there wasn't enough emotion in it, I think that I wouldn't continue to watch it. So, I can get that. I can get with that. Um Now for me, obviously, I can't read fast enough, like you, because you're super smart and everything. Uh, I do like the dubbed versions of the things that we have watched together.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
We tried a few together. I think I've got you to watch
Kaiju number 8,
Kaiju number 8.
which I love, which we need to watch the second season.
Yeah, we haven't got there yet.
Um, the one where I would like to get into the one where the aliens were eating the kids' brains from the orphanage.
Goodness. See, I would love to show you that one. That one's called The Promised Neverland. Um, I'm hoping there's still hopes in my heart that they'll redo the first season because it was just not well received. The storyline is amazing. It's one of my favorites. I read it years ago. I mean, Jesus, I think it had to be almost a decade ago. No, couldn't have been that far back. But yes, it's called The Promised Neverland. Alternate reality type situation. You see these kids. It starts off wholesome enough. A bunch of friends in an orphanage, and all the caretakers are looking all sweet and nice. And then, oh, kids are getting adopted. And then they go to, brighter pastures, for lack of a better term. And then the three main friends, they go bring a rabbit to the girl who left it. And they're not allowed to leave the orphanage. You're not allowed to go past a certain point, but they do anyway. And they go and they see, a truck and her getting loaded up into the truck. And then there's these huge monsters, and they talk about how they're going to eat them and how they cultivate these kids on these orphanages and train them and make them smart because they eat their brains, and smarter kids taste better, and things like that. They try to devise a plan to escape the orphanage just to find out that the actual caretakers are in on it too. They're kind of bred to raise these kids. But yeah, it's called Promise Neverland. I want to say it was only one season. It didn't really get too far into the story, but there's a whole another world out there for those kids once they get to it.
Yeah, I did like that one. Well, what we watched of it. I'm gonna be honest, I don't even remember how far we got, but everything that you said I do remember.
I think being a manga reader, which kind of ruins a lot for me, when a tone doesn't match the animation, like the manga tone doesn't translate to the animation. I think it throws me off. So like we'll start one and then I'll just get turned off by it, and then like I'll just throw it on the back burner. And that's probably why we never even finished the first season. But we definitely got in, I think probably 3 episodes in or 4 episodes into that one, I believe.
Well, they say the same thing about other books, like Harry Potter fans. A lot of Harry Potter fans like the books better, and same with what Lord of the Rings and um what's the other one I just watched? Game of Thrones, all that.
Oh, Game of Thrones is a whole nother beast, but
Yeah.
maybe we'll do an episode of Game of Thrones and you, because I know you were
Oh,
obsessed with Game of Thrones.
yeah. Okay. So yes. So I will say, um, being a nerd, I guess. I guess you could call me a little bit of a nerd, but it came a little later in life, because I didn't really start getting into fantasy and all that until my 30s. And then I got real heavy into the vampires and the werewolves and the fantasy Game of Thrones and my God, what else?
Well, I got you into Star Wars finally.
Yes, yes, yes.
After I
And
think we went 8 years. No, maybe not. Maybe
no,
like 5.
because it was when The Mandalorian came out.
Yeah, it's Mandalorian. Maybe.
So,
So it took you a while to get you there, but I did get you there eventually.
that is a whole nother discussion. That is a whole nother story. But yes, yes. Now I do like Star Wars. I watch all the episodes, all the different shows they got out there, and of course, obsessed with Grogu, who's not Baby Yoda, which we don't call him that in this house. He is either the child or Grogu. Um, but
Yeah,
yeah,
definitely
yeah.
excited for that. Definitely excited for that.
Yep, that'll be coming out May 22nd, and it is going to be awesome. I can tell already. But yeah, I can't really think of any other questions that I have about anime. Is there anything that um you would recommend to somebody who is, let's just say, somebody is a solely right now a manga, excuse me, reader, and they have not dabbled into any anime, right? because
Mhm.
for whatever reason they might have that same mentality where they think that if
Yeah,
they watch the anime that it's not
it
going
won't
to
be good.
satisfy them.
Yeah.
um
So you like looking for some faithful adaptations?
yeah, I guess, yeah.
Yeah, well, I wanted, like I said earlier, Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood is a pretty faithful adaptation. Attack on Titan
Oh,
is
I love
actually
that
a
one.
pretty faithful adaptation as well. Probably one of the best animes to get into, I think, also.
Mm.
The action is phenomenal. The story is crazy. There's some scenes in that one that gave me goosebumps. So definitely get into that one. Um, let's see other ones where the manga is just as good. So I will say this one. I've been reading this one. It's fairly new, but I've read it since before it even got an anime. But Sakamoto Days is probably one of my
Mm.
most favorite manga.
Yeah.
I have all the volumes, right? And I was super excited when they announced it that they were making the anime, and Netflix had the rights and all that stuff. And I saw it, and the first season, I got through it. Wasn't happy with the tone, but
I liked it.
the second season that's coming out, the I want to say the animation company is different, and just from what I'm seeing, screen grabs or whatever it is, like production or concept art, what have you, it looks like it's definitely going to match that tone better. Because it does get, it goes from being really fun and this fat guy who's a ex assassin, and he beats bad guys with like funny things like gumballs or chopsticks and a cup noodle, something crazy like that. It does get a lot darker, a lot more violent, a lot more fighting, a lot more bloody, and the tone needs to match that. And I think they're gonna do that for the next season. So definitely excited about that one. Kaiju number 8. God, I know you mentioned it. I just wish it looked a little different, but
Yeah, I know you mentioned that before.
it's dark, but it's just too. I don't think it matches very well, and I'm not sure if I'm the only person that feels that way, but maybe somebody else out there feels that way too. But definitely, if I would say manga to anime adaptation, go ahead and start Attack on Titan. You will not regret it for sure. Uh, yeah. So
I think I liked that. I mean, the episodes that I did see, I liked that one as well. It
yeah,
wasn't. It was. I'm more story driven, so when I catch it and there's a good story, I may not know the whole story, but if the conversation is more story driven, it catches my attention more
yeah. Attack on
instead of
Titan
a
is
lot of.
definitely very story driven. There, it is an intense and widely entangled story with things happening in the future to the past and vice versa, and lots of scheming and
These big
uh,
old naked things eating people.
they hide all their private parts.
It's
But
not. It's not terrible.
no, it's not terrible, but it was really good. It's definitely a good one to start. Uh, and then I guess lastly, I'd say some of the stuff that I'm watching now, uh, anime now is kind of shifted. Like when I say growing up, I really like the action stuff.
Mm.
And then a lot of the stuff that's coming out now is this stuff called isekai. Have I told you what that was? Isekai?
I've heard you mention it.
So basically, it's a form of escapism, I'm guessing, by the authors. I don't really know.
Mm.
But a lot of them die in some way and get reincarnated as something somewhere else in a different world. So there is a lot of that. I think there's at least 5 anime every season that are some form of isekai.
I'm gonna be reincarnated in a cat.
Right. You know what? There's actually there's actually one that's reincarnated as a cat.
I'm sure.
Um, Reincarnated as a slime. Reincarnated as a goblin. reincarnated as a vending machine.
You know what? Reincarnate me as a roach because then I'll live forever. Them things
Oh my
never
god.
die,
Speaking of
even
roaches,
during.
and I know we didn't want to make this episode go too long, right? Because it's like kind of like an introductory episode. But speaking of roaches, I can't believe you just said that. There
Uh oh.
is an anime that I watched called Terraformers.
Oh.
Um, it is a very interesting concept. So they want to colonize Mars. Uh, so they send roaches to Mars. I don't know. I forget how they get them there. I think they get them there like on a spaceship or something. I don't really know.
Mm,
And roaches are supposed to be able to survive anything,
yes.
right?
Nuclear bombs.
So they send roaches to Mars. I think 100 years pass, maybe something like that,
Mm.
and they send humans
I
to
know where this
Mars
is going.
to check on the roaches and their progress.
Mars attack.
And these roaches have evolved into this caveman type species. And these people get off that ship and they get slaughtered.
You know what would be better though?
What?
If they got off the ship and there was a roach dressed in a suit with a cup of coffee and some glasses and was like, "Hey guys, where you been all this time?"
That would be that would be interesting. But no, loincloths and clubs.
Oh,
And
loincloth.
yeah, I think pretty. Yeah,
They have
they gave him a caveman like.
genitals?
They gave him, they gave him a caveman type look. So they get destroyed, and that footage gets sent back to Earth, and they start like DNA splicing type stuff with people, to give people bug like powers, I
Oh.
guess, to send them back to Mars to defeat the roaches and be able to terraform Mars. So terraformers, if you can find it, I don't know where it's at anymore. If you can find it, it's definitely R-rated, violent, bloody, body parts everywhere.
Ugh.
Give it a go.
Don't watch with your kids.
Definitely don't watch with the kids. Not that one. But I mean, for the most part, that's what I think what I got right there. Do you have anything else you want to ask about it?
You know, I don't.
All right. Well, if you liked it, I guess you could go ahead and subscribe, right? I think we're going to do another episode soon. I really would like to talk about Star Wars or Marvel. I think Star Wars or Marvel are my next two biggest fandoms or things that I geek out about the most. So, all right, well, until next time, I'm Candido.
I'm Samantha.
Bye. Thanks for hanging out with us on Geeking Out with My Spouse. We love getting to share our nerdy rabbit holes with you, and the fact that you're here listening means the world. If you want to support the show, the easiest way is to follow or subscribe wherever you're listening. You can also leave a rating or review. It helps more than you think.
Do you want to go the extra mile? Share this episode with a friend. Tag us on your socials. We're on Facebook and Instagram. Or send us your wild theories and fandom hot takes at geekingoutwithmyspouse@gmail.com. We'll be back next time with more cozy chaos, more geekery, and probably at least one moment where one of us says something we immediately regret. See you then.